So before you go out and buy that brand new 2026 car that you've been waiting to come out, you might want to check this out and check into what your options are, because you technically won't be buying it. You're kind of going to just be having a subscription to it, because once you buy it, you get 1 year, maybe 2 years of being able to use your push start, to use your radio for free. After that, guess what? You're going to have to pay for a subscription to use those services. Check this out.
Car companies right now are making it to the point that you don't actually own the vehicle you're purchasing anymore. And why do I say that? Because you're not buying things from a car dealership any longer. You're just being given access to them. And if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, one woman found out the hard way. She purchased a Mazda and then went to remote start the Mazda, and the Mazda did not start. She tried calling the company, and they told her she now has to pay for remote start. Take a listen to this for yourself.
This economy is making me a criminal, okay? I'm currently researching how to jailbreak a car system. That sounds crazy, right? Listen to this. I bought this car because I wanted push to start. I wanted to be able to start my car when I'm not in my car, okay? Not that complicated. This is already installed. It's installed in the car, yay! I find out I have a free 3-year trial. Meaning after the trial, they want me to pay a $10 a month subscription cost for something already installed in my car. Are you fucking kidding me? It's already installed in my car. You want me to now pay you a subscription on top of the $30,000 car that I bought from you?
And you heard what she said, right? So that means you can purchase a vehicle for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and still be...
You buy the car, you expect everything to work. But automakers are changing the rules, turning features already installed in the car into subscriptions. These include features meant to keep you safe.
One of the most important ones that you need to know about is the automatic collision notification, ACN. And that is a system where if your vehicle is involved in a crash, your vehicle, without you doing anything, automatically notifies emergency personnel.
But for many drivers, it only works if they're subscribed to it.
Here we have this technology that studies have shown are capable of saving hundreds to 1,000 or so lives every year, yet there's resistance. Why? Because, they want to charge a subscription for it.
Most of us use a system like this. I'm using Apple CarPlay right now. I use it for maps, music, and hands-free calling. But some automakers, they're phasing it out and replacing it with their own built-in systems that'll only work with a paid subscription.
So that's the sort of thing that we're trying to stop.
State Senator James Skoufis sponsors a bill to ban car makers from turning built-in features into subscriptions.
For as long as cars have been invented, you've not had to have paid a subscription to access those features.
I mean, do you see this as the next wave of corporate nickel and diming, essentially turning safety into luxury?
It is. There's no question.
But at Mohawk Chevrolet, the dealership president says this is about giving customers more choices.
You can either raise the price of the vehicle or you can do what the subscription type stuff is. And this way, you can pick and choose what you want to do, so it can really help to keep that cost lower.
The bill is waiting to be delivered to the governor's desk. If signed, automakers will be fined for every violation.
They're also doing this with cars. Have you noticed that with newer cars? To set up your maps and all of these things, you have to set up for some kind of subscription service.
Car companies are making it whereas you don't actually own your car anymore. You just haven't been cut off yet. You're not buying things anymore. You're just being given access to them. And if you don't understand the shift yet, look at what's happening with cars. You could spend $30,000, $40,000 on a vehicle and still have features locked behind a monthly subscription. And this isn't coming. This is here already. Toyotas already have cars where heated seats are locked, navigation is locked, remote features are locked. And the only way you'll be able to use them, if you pay monthly. Picture turning on your car and having to pay $8 to use your heated seats. Do the research. The hardware is physically there. Mind you, the 2025 Toyota Camry already has subscription. They're about to start running this shit like this Amazon Prime. They're about to start running this Netflix. So basically, they're going to plan on giving you a free trial, and once your free trial expires, you got to pay for shit that you already have in your car.
If you bought a truck 30 years ago, you owned it. You held the physical key. You controlled the mechanical ignition. And as long as you had fuel and spark, absolutely no one could stop you from putting it in drive. But if you buy a new vehicle rolling off the assembly line in 2026, you are no longer the owner. You are just renting the software. Buried on page 1034 of a recent federal infrastructure bill is a mandatory requirement that will turn every new car in America into a rolling surveillance node equipped with a cellularly connected kill switch. You can have all the wrenches, sockets, and mechanical skill in the world, but you cannot fix a government-mandated software lock. Welcome to Industrial Decay. Today, we are performing a forensic audit on the 2026 kill switch mandate, the death of the independent mechanic, and why your next car is essentially a digital trap. Every massive overreach in automotive history starts with the exact same word: safety. In late 2021, Congress passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Inside that bill is a mandate requiring all new passenger motor vehicles to be equipped with advanced impaired driving technology. Now, on paper, that sounds like a standard breathalyzer, but when you look at the engineering required to actually enforce this, the reality is terrifying. The mandate requires the vehicle to passively and accurately detect if a driver is impaired. You are not blowing into a tube. The car is actively monitoring you. This requires infrared cameras tracking your eye movements, biometric sensors in the steering wheel, and cabin air sensors analyzing your breath. If the vehicle's computer decides you are unfit to drive, or if the system simply glitches, which modern automotive software does constantly, it will digitally sever the connection to your fuel pump or transmission. Your $90,000 truck is officially bricked. And here is what no one is talking about. This technology has already been tested, and it has already failed. In 2023, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration ran pilot programs with prototype impaired driving detection systems. The false positive rate was staggering. Drivers were flagged and locked out for rubbing their eyes, for looking at their side mirrors too quickly, and for wearing sunglasses that confused the infrared camera. One tester reported the system locked him out of his own vehicle at a gas station in the middle of the Nevada desert because he was drowsy. He was not drunk. He was tired from a 12-hour shift. Imagine this happening to you on a highway at night with your family in the back seat.
Toyota expires some of the vehicles. Toyota is charging us $600 a year to keep all of our functions on our 2025 Camry after we've owned it for a year. Let's go ahead and dive into what it is. Well, everything's a subscription nowadays, so it shouldn't be too surprising that cars are now wanting a subscription as well. And after a year, Toyota expires some of the vehicle functions. So what are those functions? Well, probably the biggest thing that expires after a year is remote start via the Toyota app. So you used to be able to, from anywhere, open the app and remote start your vehicle to get it cooled down. That's no longer a thing after a year. You also lose the digital key functionality, so you have to take your keys everywhere with you. You can no longer use your watch or your phone. Another big thing that expired is our navigation. Despite us buying the high-end XSE trim level with the big screen, when we tab to the navigation menu, guess what? It's now expired, and if I hit get started, all it wants to do is sell me the subscription. So how much is the subscription? Well, $15 a month is the entry-level price if you want the app functionality with things like navigation, which I feel like we already paid for. Now, if you want additional things like Apple Music to be able to function inside the car natively, that's $25 a month. And then if you want Wi-Fi on top of that, that's an additional $25 a month. So yes, you can spend $50 a month on this Camry in subscriptions, $600 a year.
This is now currently on a Toyota Camry that's sitting at around $40,000. And to get everything out of it, you need to pay an extra $600 a year. This is still not something fancy like you bought a Mercedes or a BMW, Audi, something like that. This is still just a Toyota at the end of the day. So every car manufacturer is rolling this kind of stuff out to still squeeze out a little bit more money from you at the end of the day. Cars selling subscriptions to unlock features they already put into the car should be illegal. I agree. That's ridiculous. Charging for a remote start in 2025 is diabolical. Toyota's lost their mind.
I just don't want a new car now. Because you mean to tell me, even if I come to you and I purchase my vehicle cash, I buy a brand new car cash, I have to still pay you monthly for the life of this vehicle to use my own phone to listen to music or use my navigation that I already pay a phone bill for.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
This is asinine. Now, the government and Congress and all them, they want to do something about this. These cars ain't even worth the money that the price tag says. Everything is so marked up. They're bullshit cars that don't even last 5 years. Their engines are seizing up.
Made out of plastic.
Cars eating up oil. You get into one accident, your car explodes. It's going on fire. I refuse to pay a subscription fee to any of these car manufacturers. I know that, we are resourceful people and we're going to find a way around it eventually, whether it's buying an aftermarket entertainment system for your car or whatever, but we shouldn't have to. We should not have to. There's no way that you purchase a $50,000 car and then you have to pay to use your phone in your own car. You have already purchased both and paying for your phone monthly, and now you want me to pay a subscription to my car? Might as well take the bus.
Did you see where in 2021 under President Joe Biden, hidden in one of the bills, they had where cars that were made after 2026 had to have a kill switch. The kill switch would allow our government or your manufacturer or the car itself to turn itself off anytime it felt the need to. And the problem with that is that you have all kinds of concerns about data collection and even violations of our civil rights. Listen to this.
Mr. Chair, I rise in support of our amendment. This is co-sponsored by Mr. Perry from Pennsylvania and Mr. Roy from Texas. And I regret that we have to offer this amendment. What I'm going to describe will probably sound like a bad science fiction movie, but that's what's written into law. Right now in law, that's going to be implemented it says for 2026 and beyond. Now, the reality is the technology doesn't exist, but that doesn't keep legislators from imagining things that they would like to do to infringe on civil liberties. But there is a law that states that every vehicle manufactured is going to have a kill switch in it. The car itself will monitor your driving. And if the car thinks that you're not doing a good job driving, it will disable itself. So the car dashboard becomes your judge, your jury, and your executioner. Imagine this. We got a snowstorm coming. A mom takes her kids out. They're going to the grocery store. It's snowing. They're trying to get some groceries before the big storm hits. She swerves for a pothole. Her car says, "You got one more swerve, and then we're going to ground you." There it is. The next thing she has to avoid, an icy patch in the road. The car has adjudicated her as unsuitable for driving. It disables the vehicle, and there she's stranded. My question is, how do you appeal your sentence once the technology in your car has judged you to be incapable of driving? Once it's disabled you and your children at the side of the road, how do you appeal that? Do you press a button on the dashboard? Do you start talking to an AI? What if it really was somebody who was drunk? Are you really going to send a police car after this? Disabled vehicle? Do we have the resources to do that? There's going to be so many false positives. The technology is unworkable.
So while everybody was arguing about whatever name dropped on this timeline this week, the government quietly secured the ability to turn off your car while you're driving it. And I'm not talking about a conspiracy theory. No, I'm talking about Section 24220 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Yeah, it mandates that by 2027, every new passenger vehicle must advance impaired driving technology. Shit, it sounds great on paper. Stop drunk drivers. I'm all about that life, but the fine print tells me otherwise. It requires passive, continuous surveillance of the driver. So monitoring your eyes, your head, your movements, and your behavior. And it gives the car the authority to shut down the engine if the AI detects or decides you're not fit to drive. Even the National Highway Traffic Administration admitted to Congress that the tech is not ready. They said that 99.9% of accuracy, it would still generate millions of false positives a year, meaning millions of people stranded on the side of the road because an algorithm made a mistake. But it gets worse. Where do you think that surveillance goes to? Well, if you think it goes to a privacy expert confirmed in a cloud type situation, you'd be correct. Experts have already made the function realizing that automakers are already updating their terms of service to sell your behavioral data to insurance companies to generate you a fun risk score. Some lawmakers try to stop it, actually. Representatives Thomas Massey introduced an amendment.
Some of these guys, like the Elons, what they've been coming out and saying in recent years about, 2027-ish. You seen any of this?
Well, go ahead and refresh my memory.
There's a tweet I gave Deep. Do we have it? So this was a rehash of some things that Elon said in a Lex Friedman interview. And there's something in this tweet where they say some lines were deleted. I don't know if that means he YouTube edited it or something, but if you go to the top, Deep, I just want to... After 2027, there will be no way back. Elon Musk said this in a podcast with Lex Friedman, a line that was later cut. When asked why, he fell silent for almost a minute.
That's a scary minute.
Then he quietly said, shout out to Lex for letting him sit there with that, though. It's pretty heavy. Then he quietly said, it's not a catastrophe, it's a transition. The transcript left behind 3 themes that gave him away: autonomous intelligence, loss of meaning, and energy independence. It all sounded like a forecast, but now reads like a diagnosis of the era. The first sign is the collapse of attention. Musk said humanity will stop thinking in cycles. Planning for the future will shrink to the horizon of updates. That line hits me hard. People will stop building and start simply replacing. MIT research confirms a generation born after 2000 holds attention for about 8 seconds, less than a goldfish. I used to say that to Alessi, but he's gotten a lot better now. Musk called this cultural Alzheimer's. We're not losing memory, we're losing the ability to think. The second sign is artificial intelligence that no longer obeys. Musk says when a system starts correcting humans, that time of linear logic is over. Even now, algorithms decide who we date, what we buy, and what we think about. This isn't a machine uprising, it's dissolution into convenience. People won't notice the moment when choice becomes an option, not a right. The third sign is energy dependence. Musk explains civilization can no longer survive even a day without electricity. By 2027, here it is, in his view, the balance will shift. Energy will become currency and control over it will become power. From that moment on, everything non-autonomous will disappear. This isn't an apocalypse, it's a change of biological form. At the end, he said a line that didn't make it on air. Technology is stronger than us, but not smarter. As long as we have meaning, we are alive. Lose it and we become code. Then, after a pause, he added, we must learn to be human before systems learn to be gods. We must learn to be human before systems learn to be gods. Are you ready for the transition or already living in a world where choices are made for you?
Here's to the good days, here's to the sorrows. If this is a mistake, I know about tomorrow.